Ladies, gents. Okay, so the way that I'm going to film today's session is I'm just going to tape basically what I do on the board and then just me talking over the top of it. So you can kind of just like refer back to this. So I did a, hi. Hi. Okay, so we did a, I did a little bit of a poll the other day, today, about what you wanted to do tonight, and most people said that they wanted to do an essay from one of the topics that we did last week. They wanted to take the topic that we did last week and then turn it into an essay. Like basic.
Gretch, please come to the primary court chart. Thank you.
Basically take what we did, which is, so this is the one that I thought we could do because I thought this one was quite interesting, and then turn it into like a bit of a high caliber essay. Are people happy to do that? Yeah? Yeah, good. No, the cooling's on. We're just like super sweaty humans. It's hot. It's hot. All right. So those of you who weren't here last week, you would have got this emailed to you, this topic, and we actually talked it through last week. I'll just give a kind of brief rundown to what we were going to do with it, and then we'll kind of brains trust. Luckily, there's lots of brains, so we'll brains trust an introduction and a paragraph and kind of put it together. Sound good? Happy? Yes? Excellent. People are nodding, so that means they're happy. Okay, so let's start with having a look at what the question is. So if you want to write down this question just so that you've got it, you can do that. If you were here last week and you already wrote it, then you don't need it, whatever. But basically we took... Can you guys hear me, by the way? Is it loud enough? Okay. I'm pushing as hard as I can. I'm going to have like abs of steel by the end of this. So the question that we chose was, there can't be much difference between people and the way they live. Does Rear Window present this to be true? So we picked that as our question. And the reason we picked it was because we thought most people won't pick it because it's got a quote in it, and statistically speaking, on the exam, the questions with the quotes are the ones that people don't pick, even though they're the easier questions 9 times out of 10. People don't pick it because they're like, oh, there's a quote in it, I can't do that one. So we were like, let's do that one. And we also picked it because we kind of thought, it's an interesting topic, there's a bit to it. So initially we were going to say yes but no, and then by the end of our kind of brainstorming session, we were like, actually, let's just go with yes. So our first argument was going to be, sorry, I'm just zooming in for you. Is that better? That's pretty much as zoomed in as I can get on this for some reason. So the first argument that we were going to do is, yes, people are all the same, and the reason they're all the same is because of 1950s America. Because 1950s America encouraged sameness, because if you were different, then you were suspicious, and if you were suspicious, then you were probably a communist. So we kind of said, yes, Rear Window shows that everybody is the same because 1950s America wanted everyone to be the same. And then our second paragraph was going to be... Whoop. Oh, now I can actually... now I can properly zoom in. Hello. All right, then our second paragraph was going to be, yes, people are all the same, because Jeff finds parallels between himself and the other characters in the apartments, and that shows him that like everybody is the same. And Lisa does this too, so our two main characters basically show us that people are all the same because they're able to look at people in the wider world and see themselves in them. And then the third paragraph we decided to do... Oh, sorry. My bad. This is actually on the email I sent, so you don't need to panic. And then the last paragraph we were going to do is gender roles. Actually, I think I'd want to make this my first paragraph. Yeah. Is that just me? I think I'd like to make this my first paragraph because I'll explain a reason in a second. But, so this paragraph was going to be about gender roles and that people are essentially all the same, and that comes with that idea that Hitchcock is trying to break down that idea of men are superior to women. That he is trying to show that women are equal to men and thus all people are the same. That he shows that women can do everything men can do, that he makes Lisa the hero, he makes Lisa the breadwinner, the person who makes the most money, and she is ultimately the person who saves Jeff, not the other way round. So his kind of subverting of gender roles tells us that all people are the same, because women aren't necessarily weaker or, more vulnerable than men, because Jeff is the vulnerable one. Okay? Now the reason I want to put this my first one comes back to why I chose to talk about gender roles at all, which is the quote. So the quote is from Lisa. Lisa is the one that says there can't be much difference between people in the way that they live. She says that, and so we have to use this quote in some way, shape or form in this essay. If we're given a quote in the question, we've got to address it. And the quote is actually pushing us in a certain direction in terms of a certain answer that it wants us to give. And that is that gender roles thing, because she says it after he says, oh, you couldn't cope with the way I live because, I eat fish heads and, live in Pakistan and have a 3-day beard and blah, blah. And, he's trying to make himself sound all masculine and whatever. And she's just like, but there can't be that much difference between people in the way they live. She doesn't say men, she doesn't say women, she says people. As in, we are both people, and if you can live through eating fish heads, then why couldn't I? There can't be much difference. And so that is the examiner's way of pushing us to talk about gender roles. So I would probably put the gender roles paragraph as my first paragraph because we're encouraged to talk about it. So your first paragraph always needs to be your strongest, but it also needs to be the one that most clearly addresses the question. Because God forbid if you didn't get time to talk about paragraph 2 and 3, at least your paragraph 1 covers you that you answered the question. Does that make sense? So you want to do your best argument first that covers it the most. Your second argument needs to be your second best. And then your third argument is like either the one that takes the idea further or that you're like, I'm not super sure about this one, but I'm going to give it a go. Because if you didn't run, if you run out of time, it doesn't matter as much that you didn't get there. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So is everyone comfortable with the plan? And if you're not, it's too bad because we're moving forward. Yeah? Okay, so let's talk about how we would write an introduction. So everyone should know how to write an introduction, surely. I hope. If you don't, I'm really worried because the sack's tomorrow. But hang on, I'll make this as big as I can. Here we go. Oh, the box. Here we go. Alright, let's make that nice and big. Let's zoom this bad boy in. Okay, let's try and do it.
Good job, Anne. Do you need to rest on here?
That would be great. Thank you. Alright. So. Okay. Alright, introduction. Tell me, who am I going to pick on? Who am I going to pick on? Danielle! Danielle, what goes in a introduction? What needs to be there? Title? Author? Contention and? Arguments. Good. You need tacker. Good. That's all you need. Okay? Now, if you want to put in a little bit more than that, That's okay, but you need to have those 4 things. I know some people like longer introductions. Like I know Lanza likes a little bit more beef to her introduction than I do. I like them really like short, sweet, 3 sentences and move the hell on.
Either will stick it.
Yeah. Either will get you the points. But what is the problem is when people don't give us the basic information, the tacker. That if you start writing your piece and you haven't even told me what text it's in, or you haven't even told me what your contention is, or what your arguments are, that's when you're going to have some problems. So it's really important that you do have your tacker at least. Okay? So.
Is that how that works?
What? Oh, no, you can draw. Look, watch.
Oh, that's grouse. No, I got one. It's a dud. I'll show you mine.
Okay, it's really good. Actually, no, watch this. Look how fancy I am. I know, I'm like a guru.
Oh, no, I've seen that.
Woo!
Oh, get out. I saw that.
It's so good. I know. I'm like so good at the internet now.
You're in the interweb.
Me and the internet are like... Damon doubts me. All right. So, ladies, gents, what am I going to say? How am I going to begin this fabulous essay? How's it going to begin? I need tacker. How do I start? Okay, that's fine. That'll do.
I like Hitchcock's Rear Window.
Context for the topic or for the text? That's good. You've got to have a few up your sleeve because it should really match the topic. It's dangerous.
So you won't have to search for your contention, give it to us straight away.
No, they're good. That's good.
All right. So, thank you, Ty. Ty's being useful. Right. I didn't say that, you said that. So, I've just kind of tweaked it a tiny little bit and just said, in the crime thriller Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock. Obviously, then I would give my contention. So, flicking back to that photo, we were saying that essentially all people are the same, aren't we? Yeah? So, how can I say it? Does anyone have any suggestions about how to say, to add that?
Hitchcock already?
Yes.
Oh, well then you could use he as the next word.
He, yeah. He what?
Or Hitchcock, but we've already said Hitchcock.
Yes.
Yeah, disappointing.
Well, we can edit. There's a backspace.
Oh, it's the liver and it's back.
Okay. Eddie.
Explores the similarities between people and the way they live.
Beautiful. Explores
You get a tick, Ebby. Ebby, it's Ebby. It's over.
People and the way they live. Okay. And that's really nice as well. The reason why Eddie's is really nice is because he's actually using the words from the question. And that's okay. I think a lot of people go, oh, but you're not allowed to use them. No, it's okay if you use them. You just don't want to overuse them to the point where it's like you're just being lazy. You know, think of some other words. But using them is good, okay? So, he explores the similarities between people and the way they live. Okay, so that is us stating the contention. Hurrah. Now we move to arguments. Okay, so my first argument was about gender roles, that women can do everything men can do. Okay, so put that in a full sentence for me. Something about similarities between people and gender roles.
And who says it? So then you're already telling me it's to do with the quote.
Yeah.
You could save it.
Yeah. Any
Julian's
ideas?
got something. Julian! Oh.
Oh.
Caitlin! Lachlan.
Do you just want me to like sit there and write an essay? That is like the most boring thing. Yeah, just
Here.
yeah, like baby birds and mama birds, just like like
Where's Ben? Where's Benjamin? We did this today.
lazy babies, lazy babies.
You dismembering?
Okay. All right, I'll start. Hopefully you warm up.
Oh,
Ugh.
that's really cute.
Yeah, I know, cute, huh?
Oh my god.
I know. You should see what I wrote on Robin's.
Oh, I can see. Standing beside you like security.
Cute. Alright. People and the way they live.
Do you want to mention a quote in that now?
Primarily, I wasn't going to.
So everybody.
Uses.
What do you want to say?
His subversion of gender roles to present that essentially
All people are equally capable. No, the same. But you've already said that.
capable,
You're doing the general. Aren't you doing the gender one?
yeah, of being the hero.
Yeah.
Being the hero. Additionally, I don't know, I'm going back.
Jeff. Through.
Hitchcock uses
Windows, are you going to go?
Jeff and his voyeurism, maybe,
To show parallels.
yeah,
His voyeurism. What do you put?
what's wrong with me? Parallels.
Yeah, double LEL. Lately, I can't spell like the kids.
Yeah.
Between his own fears and insecurities and those of his, as reflected, as mirrored. Oh, subjects. Nice.
Because he studies them like subjects, you know? Like bugs under the glass. Right. You could use another word other than sameness, that's okay.
That was our resource. The darker side, how
Yeah. Yeah. Really?
Did I use the word presented before?
What's the last idea?
The McCarthyism, we're all the same kind of
It's
thing.
presented. What are you saying about it though?
As a result of
The desire for sameness, that they all desire to be the same. Do you know what I'm saying? Or is it encouraged? Sameness is presented as desirable.
presented
But doesn't he say?
as
Can you prove that McCarthyism is desirable?
as a
Yes.
yes.
We did that. The only one that is. Are you talking about year 12? Year 11. Year 11. Did you do year 11? Because I didn't.
I haven't done it yet.
it's right now.
Just do week beginning. Sit down.
All right. So
Year 11.
here we go. All right. So thanks for your help, guys. Yeah, wicked. I couldn't have done it without you.
I love vomit. It's good.
Yeah, I know, but it's really annoying. All right, so this is what I've done. I've got in the crime thriller Rear Window, just so that I'm not like in Rear Window like everybody else. I've just kind of added a little something so that I'm not like everybody else. Okay? Notice that I've made a mistake. What is my mistake? Who can tell me what my mistake is? Good, I have an underlined Rear Window. Rear Window needs to be underlined. No, underlined.
Is it quotation marks?
No,
That's for
underlined.
dialogue only or quotes?
That's for dialogue or when it's a short story in a collection of stories.
Yes.
No, wrong. Underline, always. Yes. Right,
Yeah. Everything's the same.
right. I'll have my domestic with Damon later. Right,
Who's Daniel?
Damon.
Damon.
Yeah. So, come on. Thank you. So, in the crime thriller Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock. So I've done title and author. He explores the similarities between people and the way they live. So I've already done title, author, contention. He primarily uses his subversion of gender roles to present that essentially all people are capable of being the hero.
Paragraph 1.
That's my paragraph 1. That's my gender roles paragraph. Additionally, Hitchcock uses Jeff and his voyeurism to show parallels between his own insecurities and the lives of his subjects.
Paragraph 2.
Okay? Finally, the concept of sameness is presented as desirable as a result of the threat of McCarthyism, and that is 3. Okay? Now, have you noticed that there are these little kind of joiny words? So I'm not just going, that just add, they add just a little bit of extra kind of flair and flow between my sentences. Like, had I have just kind of given each argument and said, like, he primarily uses subversion and then gone being the hero. Hitchcock uses Jeff and then the concept of sameness. It wouldn't have that same nice flow that the sentences have because of just these little,
Signpost.
these little signposty, what are they called? There's
What's
a word
that?
for them.
You know it, Smith.
Conjunctions.
Are they? No.
Are they conjunctions? No, that's like because and whatever. I can't think of the
Yeah,
word
I know
for
what
it.
you're saying.
But those words, like moreover, therefore, furthermore, those kind of words. Whatever. We're moving forward. Right.
Whatever, we're moving forward.
Excuse
Okay,
me.
done. Next one.
Right. Any questions about intros? Guys?
The thing that sets this introduction apart as a quick aside is sometimes if we're desperate, I've noticed that, and you may have noticed this as well, students just do like that generic, he uses cinematic techniques, he uses sound, and he uses characters.
Their
Right.
ideas.
Yeah. They're not introducing a discussion. They're just a sentence that lists relevant, vague things that that you probably will talk about.
That would be good as evidence and
Yeah.
not necessarily as a whole argument.
Yeah, so here, the topic sentences are basically there. I know what the topic sentences are now when I go to write my essay, and the person who's going to read my essay, the essay has now been introduced to me.
Yeah.
If you can do this under SAC conditions, kudos.
Yeah, happy days. Happy days. Okay. You good? Yep. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at the next bit, which is writing our first paragraph. So what I might do is like write each bit of the paragraph on a different slide so that you can see it nice and big. Yeah. Let's do a text box. Okay. All right. So my first paragraph, Beth, is about what? What is my first paragraph about? Gender roles, good. And how the gender roles discussion in this film shows that everybody is the same. Okay, so how do I put that in a full sentence? How do I put it in a full sentence? Who's got a topic sentence for me? Hang on, wait, I might just backtrack one. What should a topic sentence do? What's its purpose? Open the paragraph, introduce the idea, right? One sentence, introduces the idea in the paragraph. If you planned properly, it is so easy that you literally take what you wrote in your plan, you kind of, brush off the dirt and stick it there. It's literally that easy. If you plan properly, essay writing is super easy. So, let's insert a text box and come up. I said, insert a text box. Pay attention. All right. So,
You need a PA.
I do. I would love a PA. Anyone want to buy me one? About 70 grand a year. I want like a personal assistant. Anyway. Okay, so this will work. Okay, so how am I doing? What am I doing? What am I saying? It is my topic sentence. What am I going to say for my topic sentence?
Alright, so what's the topic
You guys are
sentence
the
about?
worst.
Gender.
It's about gender and sameness.
Yeah.
And everyone is the same. Everyone's equal.
So maybe just put the keywords there so that reminds me of their like.
Okay. So gender roles.
Stereotypes,
Stereotypes. People are all the same. Alright. Stereotypes. Almost. Alright. Come on, construct me a sentence. I've even given you the keywords. Construct me a sentence. Goodbye, sweetheart. Did you get my email? Check it. You're welcome. Right.
Adelaide's got something.
Adelaide.
Robbie, say what she was saying. Yeah? The perception of gender roles.
Okay.
The presentation. Hitchcock's presentation of gender roles, maybe?
Yeah. I like that. Hitchcock's.
or rendering.
I'm confused now. There's too many words.
Presentation.
Too many words. Too many words.
Go with too many options.
Presentation of gender roles.
Year 11. Can you
Highlights.
can you email that to me? I've already got Well, it's not. What he says is, isn't Hitchcock saying that women aren't just eye candy? And Lisa says surely we're all the same, and then he proves it. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? So it's not an idea. Do you know what I mean? What is Hitchcock actually saying? Yeah. Which subverts or rebels against. Yeah.
Good question.
Visual concept.
Right. Ladies, gents, we're not here for a boys' club. And my concern is there is so many of us that it's very hard for me to keep a wrap on it, you know? So give me a chance. Halson, you got a question? Do you have a question? Okay. So Morgan was also asking about single quotation marks and double quotation marks. Really, no one's going to give a crap unless, you keep, switching.
Yeah.
So stick to one and go with it. I use singles, and then when I'm quoting dialogue within, when we do House on Fire, and I might need to quote dialogue of a character, and then as it's typed, it has the double, then I can do, the double, the single, and then the double.
Yeah.
So I like to use singles, but if you like using doubles, go ahead. Just be consistent. No one's going to give a crap.
Really,
okay?
this is a quote. Think of it as this is a quote and the double is talking.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But ultimately, no one cares.
No.
So, yeah.
It's not uni.
No. Uni, they'll get
They get
pedantic.
they get answers.
But,
small stuff.
Sorry.
We're
There we
about
go.
ideas and things.
Yeah, we just want you to think. All right, so this. Whoop, no, too big. There we go.
That's big enough.
Yeah. So this is my topic sentence. Hitchcock's presentation of gender roles highlights that essentially there can't be much difference between people in the way they live. So I've put in the quote just to kind of, accentuate that, yes, I understand that you need me to use the quote. I'm using the quote and what the quote is kind of prompting. But you don't have to use it in the topic sentence. I just did because I want to be super fancy, But you can see how I've actually used the topic sentence to basically be an answer to the question. So I've got the presentation of gender roles, highlights essentially, and then that's the bit about the question that says, we're all the same. Okay? And what you really want your topic sentences to sound like is you could read the question and then read your topic sentence and it would sound like question, answer. Okay? We should be able to read each of your topic sentences and it should sound like there's the question, answer, 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 got it. Does that make sense? Okay, so we ready for evidence? Yes? Right, let's do it. So most people are pretty good at evidence. I would say like 95% of you are pretty good with evidence, but we'll show you anyway. So the evidence that I said I was going to use was the hero, the breadwinner, the damsel in distress, right? I might use the hero because with the hero one, I can kind of tie in that she's brave and I can use some cinematic techniques, which I know a few of you are still kind of a little iffy about in terms of how do I put cinematic techniques in as evidence. So let's do it like that. All right. So this is what I would say. Lisa is presented by Hitchcock to be the hero of the murder mystery. She is the... Whoop. How do I make it not go...
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I don't know. How do I do that?
It's not staying. It's not staying.
Well,
Oh.
Clever boy. There's a reason why we keep Daniel Nicolo around, and it's not just his smile, but also his smile. But mostly.
Mostly.
Okay. She is the... I was going to say the physical... the physical solver of the crime.
She's the one
in
who
that she has to,
solves the crime.
yeah, she is the one who physically collects the clues to solve the mystery of whether there was actually a crime committed. This is
Hitchcock has Lisa. Hitchcock has Kelly. Do you want to talk about the act?
yeah, I want to talk about like her climbing like up the ladder and then
So, while Jeff sits immobile, it is Lisa who Hitchcock has.
good one.
Yeah.
While Jeff
Sits immobile.
sits immobile,
Watching.
is
It is Lisa.
watching on. It is Lisa who scales the ladder. Yeah, I know. But what do you do?
They're kids. They're waiting for the
Fire ladder.
fire escape ladder.
Fire escape.
Then climbs into.
And precariously climbs into program. Yes?
Yes. Have you got that
Yeah, that's a good one.
quite? Maybe put it there.
Window.
What is it? Yeah, who's got it? I
Yeah.
need that quote. I'm going to ask him.
Yeah. You can ask me.
So what we're after now. If anybody, and I'm sure at least 70% of you can do this. What's the quote where Jeff says that Lisa was the one who solved the crime? Remember, he says that you're the one who did all the work. You're the one who did it all. You took all the risks.
Ah, there we go. Sarah knows it.
What is it?
Here we go.
Using the word "we" a little too freely. It's you who's doing all the work.
It's
Yeah.
you who's doing all the work.
Good. I'm using the word "we" a little too freely. It is you that is taking all the risks.
No, who is doing all the work?
Who is doing all the work?
The
Sorry.
risks one is another one.
All right. Okay, so I've got this is the start of my evidence where I've said Lisa is presented by Hitchcock to be the hero of the murder mystery. She is the one who physically collects the clues to solve the mystery of whether there was actually a crime committed. While Jeff sits immobile in his apartment watching on, it is Lisa who scales the fire escape and precariously climbs into the Thorwald's open window. Okay?
Jeff himself concedes that it is
Yeah.
Lisa who.
Jeff himself concedes. Oops. Do we know what the word concedes means? It's like admitted. Admitted. That it is Lisa who. What is it? Is doing.
Wait, I found it. So I'm using the word "we" a little freely. It's you that's taking all the chances.
Who is taking all the chances.
Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. Right. So, okay. So let's break down this evidence and talk about why it works. So, I kind of start off by giving a bit of a general statement. This is a little bit fat, isn't it? I need it to be
It is a bit.
a little bit thinner.
Spelt it up.
Let's take down the thickness a little bit.
Oh, you've got it on its.
I've got it on a high setting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I start off with a bit of general stuff, and then I kind of start getting into presenting my evidence. And I say, she is the one who physically collects the clues to solve the mystery of whether there was actually a crime committed. If I stopped there, that would be a big problem because it's too vague. Oh, sorry.
That's right. It still looks pretty. Don't worry about it. Now you have to get the eraser out.
I know. No, I was trying to make it bigger.
Control Z.
Here we go. Oh, my bad. Too big. Big enough?
Yeah. Trav, can you see that? Is that all right for you?
Can you see it? Okay. Come back to me. Ladies, gents.
Only about 20 minutes left, and then whatever English lessons you've got left.
For some. Right. I got a double tomorrow
Have you?
in one of my classes. Right. I'm waiting. I'm being very patient and trying not to kill people.
She's been really nice, sort of like.
I know, but what's the point? My voice is already sore. So, if I stopped there with the crime committed, the problem would be is there wouldn't be any actual direct evidence. It would just be general talk. And I would say, no, that's bad because you actually haven't produced any evidence. You've just generally talked about clues.
Show me you watched the
Okay?
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to be specific. So this is where I get specific. Okay? While Jeff sits immobile in his apartment watching on, it is Lisa who scales the fire escape and precariously climbs onto the Thorwald's open window. That is me being more specific. Okay? I'm actually referring to a specific instance. Okay? Yeah, so
You could add that to show.
I would probably go just to like be a bit fancier and to make sure that I'm hitting that idea of cinematics and stuff. I would probably go, while Jeff sits immobile in his apartment watching on, it is Lisa who scales the fire escape and precariously climbs into the open window. And maybe work in something about like the wide angle lens, so we get a wide shot to actually
Back,
show
yeah.
that.
So he pulls back so we can see the scale.
Let's put it, Hitchcock,
Where are you?
what?
You're in the right spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hitchcock. I'm editing. It's what's editing. It's editing.
Bless you.
Hitchcock
Frames this. No?
frames
Frames it so that
Lisa
so that the face.
in a wide angle shot when she. Right. I need like a bell.
Go.
Show you later.
My teacher told me last year that we No.
Okay.
No.
So
Just do what we tell you to do. Just ignore everyone. This isn't us.
right. Morgan had another good question.
It's not your fault.
That's good. You're full of good questions.
You're gonna ask these.
So Morgan was just saying, do I need to introduce people like characters the first time I talk about them? No, you don't. What you do need to just do is, so like, assume that the person who's reading your essay has seen the film, they've seen it loads of times, they know the storyline, they know everything about it, they know that Lisa is Lisa Fremont, they know that Jeff is, LB Jeff Jeffries, they know all of that stuff. But what they don't know is the significance of the story, the significance of the things that happen. So don't worry about giving storyline or detail about Lisa is Jeff's girlfriend. We know that.
You don't have to explain stuff.
Okay? You don't have to explain the story. So,
You don't have to tell us the actor's name in
Right.
the bracket or any of that crap.
guys, thank you. All right, let's keep going so that we can get this finished before you have to leave. So, while Jeff sits immobile in his apartment watching on, Hitchcock frames Lisa in a wide-angle shot when she scales the fire escape and precariously climbs into the Thorwald's open window. Now, can you see how just adding that little bit turns it into more of a text construction discussion, and it shows authorial intent. It shows that Hitchcock's doing things deliberately, and that makes all the difference. It's just these tiny little things that make all the difference. That if you can talk about, the author doing things deliberately, it just puts you that little bit ahead of others. Yep.
So can we talk about camera techniques that explain, because you haven't explained why the wide angle was used?
Yeah, so when I do my explanation, Connor, he's a clever boy. When I do my explanation, I will talk about how he gives the wide angle to actually show how dangerous a thing she's doing, that she could fall and really hurt herself. So that's a really good question. So I'd use that kind of cinematography to my advantage.
Otherwise, you're just dropping it. You're dropping the example and you're doing nothing with it.
Exactly.
You're not tying it up.
Okay, so we ready to do explanation, or do we have another question about evidence? Ready to move? Okay, let's do the next one. Whew. I'm hot. not just like I'm warm
Yeah?
in temperature.
Do you need something?
No, I just remembered again. I'm taping this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. This is a great idea, by the way. We're
Right.
using the computer internal taper.
Yeah.
Is that snag it?
Yeah. Okay.
It's my snag it.
Do you know what though? If you spend time reading through the PDFs that have been sent to you, right, and through the LibGuides information, I was saying this to my kids today, they give you a lot of that terminology.
Yeah.
They talk about all of the key scenes, and you just get your highlighter out and just highlight and then write down the way that those people explain those shots that you see. Because half the work in writing about a film is being able to articulate accurately what you see. So looking at those PDFs that you've been emailed by your teachers, looking at the LibGuide stuff online, sorry, I'll be really quick,
No, you're
is
right.
going to give you that terminology to enable you to do what Miss Richardson is doing quite easily. Because she's got that swag of vocab, right? She's got it slung over her shoulder. Yeah? Okay.
But like, don't feel like. I think people get really wrapped up in like trying to sound fancy.
Yeah.
Particularly in this first sack, everyone like goes all out and tries to sound really fancy and basically falls on their bum because I can't understand them because they're either misusing words or like there's so many fancy words that I can't even find what the argument
A lot of
is.
styrofoam.
Yeah, there's so much like styrofoam talk and not enough like meat. So
It's a little bit of
keep impressive ideas and keep your language simple and then with little sprinkles of fancy, like little pepperings of fancy.
Just those little
Okay.
phrases that you might remember from the
Yeah.
guides and bits and pieces.
Don't get all head up about being fancy
No, just
about
be
words.
clear.
Right. Okay, I did, but it'll last. It'll last. Yeah, it'll last. Okay, so So I've said this scene demonstrates, it highlights, it illustrates, it shows. I've put a list of them there. There is more than that, but if you're someone who really struggles to go from evidence to explanation and you kind of just glean over that bad boy, try using that phrase, this demonstrates. Right after you write your evidence, go, this demonstrates. Because that will force you to go, okay, well, what does it demonstrate? Okay, that will often help you jump into explanation. So, what does Lisa climbing the fire escape, what does that demonstrate? What does it demonstrate? Yep.
Her not following society's like standards.
Good, yeah. What she's doing is not really what would be expected from a woman, to be climbing ladders and fences and then climbing into windows. Definitely, she's definitely subverting what would be expected from her as a woman. Yep.
She's trying to prove to Jeff that she can live the way he does.
Yeah, that she is adventurous, she is brave, she's dangerous. Good, yeah, good. All right, so let's go with this demonstrates, shows that Lisa has the capabilities of, I don't want to say doing,
Of performing.
performing
These acts of physical
dangerous
acts
and heroic
of dangerous
deeds
deeds.
that that push the social boundaries for women. Yeah?
Yeah. The expected social boundaries.
Yeah, expected social boundaries. Good.
Described. And that's also, you, oh my God, this can be so huge because then you can go to the next one about Jeff's response validating.
Good, yeah. Thank you. this is emphasised, and I'm going to come back to what Connor was saying about how, like, we have to use the wide angle lens. We have to talk about the wide angle.
Don't just drop it without backing it
Yeah,
up.
this is emphasised by Hitchcock and his wide angle shot, which illustrates the
Precarious?
precarious,
Or have you used
or
that
the
No.
she's like,
The daredevil element of her.
yeah, illustrates
Risque?
the illustrates the
Risky.
the risk involved in her actions, and thus the impressive
Nature
nature of the act. No, I already said
of
the
her.
of her
What she's done. Of her fearlessness. No, it's I don't know. Of her movements.
These are all crap.
This is emphasised by Hitchcock in his wide-angle shot, which illustrates the risk involved in her actions. Do you want to talk about the risk involved?
Decisions.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Ladies and gents.
Let's just move on.
Now, this is working well so far, but there's one other thing that I've got to touch on, which is the bit that I've said about Jeff saying she's taking all the chances. So I just need to explain that as well. So I could say something like, Hitchcock compounds this belief that Lisa can,
Lisa's actions are contrary.
yeah, that she can exceed the social expectation of women because he understands that she's going to take all the risks. Something like that.
Yeah, I could do it. So Jeff's response to
Jeff's
surprise
statement about her Lisa's risks compounds the idea that she is capable of exceeding the social
Should I put them all in your office so I can do tomorrow?
yes.
And I'll leave a note. There's two that didn't bring them. I'm just about to email his parents. Brendan Freeman.
Yep.
Can't I just bring them?
Email his mother? No.
And one card.
They don't bring them.
Yeah, but I've just thrown them.
Actually, I don't know if we do. I'll check that out.
Right. Okay. So,
Explanation.
explanation. I love this pen.
You really do.
I love
I
it.
think I got a dud.
So, here I've got, this scene demonstrates that Lisa has the capabilities of performing dangerous and heroic deeds that push the prescribed boundaries for women. Okay? This is emphasised by Hitchcock and his wide-angle shot, which illustrates the risk involved in her actions and thus the impressive nature of her decisions. Jeff's statement about Lisa's risk compounds the idea that she is capable of exceeding the social expectations of women, and then this bit is the most important bit because it ties it back to the question, where I say, can do all that would be expected by a man, which is, we are all the same. Yeah? Remembering that every topic sentence, every explanation, every link, every intro, every conclusion should tie to the question. Okay? So every time you do an explanation, it needs to come back to this idea that they're all the same. So I need to make sure that I'm proving my point.
Otherwise you won't get a good mark.
Yeah, so like you want to do that as much as possible, because every time you say all the same or some version of it, you're basically giving your examiner a little wave and going, I'm answering the question. Can you see how this is relevant? I'm answering it. Look at me.
Have to make the connection.
Okay? And that makes it so much easier for them to give you a good score, because they're like, yeah, he's done the job.
What if the answer is like technically
Guys, Damon's answering asking a question.
let's just say that you say something that is wrong.
Yeah.
You've given like a good example to sort of back up your ideas.
Yeah, so occasionally, very rarely, but occasionally someone will write something that I don't really agree with, that I'm like, no, I don't really think that Jeff is supposed to be a representation of male feminism. But if you can justify it and you can make your case, then really I still have to give you kudos. Okay? It's only if your argument is very flimsy that I can really penalise you on it. So I don't have to necessarily agree with it, but if you can argue it, then yeah. Okay? Alright, any questions about explanations? No? Let's just do a link and move on. I know.
It's alright.
I'm nearly done.
It's my fault, I'm so you did.
No, you're not. Right.
Just, you know what?
I know, it's really improved.
At this point, we need to say to ourselves, we need to remind the person who's reading our paragraph what the purpose of the whole thing was. Okay? And so it's about reminding them about the purpose of your current discussion and how that discussion relates back to the topic.
Right. So your link sentence, one sentence, basically ties up what you've just talked about to the paragraph, to the question. It does not, listen very carefully, your link sentence does not link your first paragraph to your second paragraph. It doesn't do that. It just links back to the contention. Okay? So, all I need to do is write one sentence that ties this idea of Lisa being brave and heroic. That. Are you just pointing at me? What are you doing?
Pointing at students to give it to you.
Oh, okay, yeah, give me it.
Go on, Tyler, you can do it. Give her a minute, she'll do it. No pressure. Wow.
No, she's cracking.
She's crack. You can't do it?
She's getting scared. Okay, let's leave her alone. All right. Poppy's just like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Right.
Emma Beale can do it even. Just give us the back. You're in. She's zoned in. Go.
Give me a link sentence.
You can do it. She'll have a go. Go.
You can do it.
Just link it back to the topic. What have we just said? Lisa or Hitchcock what?
How about Hitchcock uses Lisa?
To prove?
Everyone is all the same. Something about the same.
Women and men are capable of the same things, or what do you want to say? In their capabilities. Are capable of, what did you say, Gracie? What did you say?
Good.
Good one. Good one. Good team effort.
Cool.
Yeah?
So,
Because we talked about the hero.
okay. Now, the reason why this link sentence works, thank you. The reason why this link sentence works is we're obviously talking about Hitchcock using Lisa, which is about the gender roles thing, that women can do anything a man can do, which is about gender roles. And it's about similar, same, okay, and can take the role of hero when given the opportunity, which is what our paragraph was about being a hero. I need a hero. Yeah? Right, you guys are knackered. I can sense it. Right, can I suggest tonight, I'll just wait, because I don't want to speak over people because my voice is really sore now. Right, so I've literally, this is like the same amount of pressure I would usually use yelling. Can I suggest that tonight you go back over your notes, maybe have a look at that, the video that I made on essay writing.
And the camels one again.
Just like flick over that again to just kind of go, yeah, I know how to write the essay. Go over those the prompt questions, make sure that you feel like you could answer them all. No more than an hour, then go to bed. An hour is enough. An hour is enough. If you can't do it by now, it's not going to happen. Alright, bye!
Yeah. If you know you can answer any of those,